Morning, everyone. Welcome to the August 5th, 2019 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would our Director of EMA, Sean Miller, please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sean. I'm Barb Lewis, President. To my left, our Vice President, Jeff Benton. To my right, fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, our Administrator, Mike Fromer, and our Clerk, Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 19-749, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held August 1st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-749. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 19-750, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0802.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-750. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-751, in the matter of a new liquor license request from George's Group Incorporated, doing business as George's Pizza, and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no request for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-751. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-752, in the matter of accepting the Treasurer's report for the month of June 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-752. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 19-753, in the matter of approving supplemental appropriations for the Delaware County Emergency Management Agency.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Miller, Director, Delaware County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. And for your consideration this morning is grant funding for hazardous materials training for fire departments. This is a grant that we routinely get pretty much every year, and the focus is for training specifically for hazardous materials, transportation incidents, so rail, roadway type incidents, things of that nature. It's an 80% federally funded program and a 20% local match, with the local match coming from the hazmat team. So EMA is just a pass-through in this regard, and at the end of the year we won't have any out-of-pocket expense. The hazmat team, through the Fire Chiefs Association, has already agreed to that 20% local funding. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Questions? Vote.
Vote on motion 19-753. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis? Resolution number 19-754, in the matter of approving a recommendation by the Delaware County Local Emergency Planning Committee for the appointment of representatives.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is for the nominations for the Local Emergency Planning Committee members, and they serve a 2-year term from odd year to odd year in the summer, and the nominations from the counties go to the State Emergency Response Commission, and that commission then makes the appointments for those county LEPCs. And the role of the LEPC is really to look at hazardous materials planning and coordination. And so we have industrial representatives on there, such as from Kroger Distribution, Great Lakes plant out there on 3637, as well as PPG and some others, as well as public safety representatives, media, and local elected officials as well. And so this, again, this nomination will go to the State Emergency Response Commission, and then they will look at those from the counties. And again, as I said, it's a 2-year term for these memberships. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 19-754. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Just one thing, Sean, I wanted to thank you. Sean has been sitting in on some NACO, National Association of County Justice and Public Safety Steering Committee conference calls, because so many of those calls have dealt with FEMA and our local EMA.
Sure.
And he's been able to, he always summarizes the call for me if I'm not able to be on it too, but your expertise has really helped in understanding.
Well, I appreciate that, and NACO has done, I think, in my opinion, a very good job of keeping abreast of current emergency management subjects, and also working with other associations such as the International Association of Emergency Managers, and they really keep up to speed on some of those pertinent, both national and local issues that are pertinent in emergency management today. So I appreciate the inclusion in those calls. I think they're very worthwhile.
No, it's been a great help to us, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did we vote? Okay.
Resolution
Thank
number
you.
19-755, in the matter of approving amendment number 2 to the sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for the Pines, Section 1, Phase A.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. This is a subdivision that's located on Old State Road, just north of Cheshire Road. And what we're doing here is we're giving them an amendment to allow them to connect 30 homes into the sewer that's reached substantial completion. They also are going to be operating the pump station. The pump station is at a point that it's functional. It has all the emergency controls in place, and we're comfortable with allowing them to go ahead and operate it until they reach final completion.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 19-755, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill. Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Resolution number 19-756, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. This is an appropriation that would move $1,000 from the portion of my budget that generally goes to services into materials and supplies. We've had this year several instances where we're providing food for community events, most recently the Governor's Faith-Based Initiative. So basically, to make that portion of my budget whole, we need to move money over. But just a reminder in the future, when we're committing to feed people, that it comes out of my budget, so.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that, Jane.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and that was really a good expenditure.
Okay, I hope it was good food.
Yes, it was good. It was good.
Well attended.
Yes, right. Thank you.
So we need your approval on this.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 19-756, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. Couple things. Tomorrow, I'm going to be meeting out at the Data Bus Complex with the director. I'm kind of curious. They've rebranded themselves, too, recently. So that'll be, and during that meeting, I'm going to invite them to come in and do a presentation workshop for you guys to
Great.
talk about some of the stuff they have going on. The next Monday, I'm going to be speaking at the Rotary at lunchtime, and my presentation is Our People, Our Passion, and I'm going to highlight some of our outstanding employees and some of the great work that we've been doing that's driven by their passion. So they only give you 25 minutes, so I'll have to kind of cram it in. You can talk a lot longer than that. So anyway, that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. I think you're first.
You do? I honestly don't have a recollection of that, but I have nothing today.
Oh, well, oh gee, okay.
So I'll make it easy for you.
We're in suspense until you, oh my gosh, Commissioner Benton.
Yeah, it's been relatively quiet, I guess. Just a couple things. SEBCO had their board meeting on Friday, and claims continue to move along pretty well. Year to date for the half the year, they're slightly below last year, so things are, on the claims front, things are going pretty well for next year's renewal, which is still expected to be up, some, but not too extreme, not too low. But one thing that's really come to the forefront is high dollar claims. You know, they're having a significant increase in the number of claims over $500,000. You know, I think there were, we saw a slide, I think there were 9 claims over $2 million.
Oh, really?
You know, in 2018, which is the kind of the baseline for next year's increase. So, so anyway, they're working on stop loss renewal and changing some
Yeah.
terms of the stop loss. So it's, that part of it is increasing, the high dollar claims. The overall total claims is really fairly moderate.
What type of claim would,
And they're very random, you know, there's not a high number considering there's 15,000 people covered under this under SUBCO. It's prenatal care, you know, early births, it's
see.
cancer, it's heart attacks, it's,
Okay.
So all the
yeah,
major ones. that we-
yeah, and again, it's
I
not
was
one
curious.
thing. It's a number of different things, but again, there's not very many numbers-wise, but dollar-wise.
But dollar-wise,
They're big dollars.
yes.
So that's what they're focusing on for next year and in the future, because the trend line is going up over the last 4 or 5 years. The number of high-dollar claims have been consistently rising.
Gosh,
So
it's
that's,
good to have that perspective.
yeah, it is. It's, that part of it is a challenge. But, so anyway, SEPCO continues to be very well capitalized and do a really nice job. I had MORPC's executive committee on Thursday, and some interesting topics out of there as well. Salary survey is going to be done here pretty soon. You aware of that, Dawn, so you're ready for that? You participate, okay, that's always good to have. The regional housing study is starting. We're not actually a participant in that, but I think that's clearly one of our priorities is housing,
Right.
especially affordable housing here in Delaware County. The track projects that we've got 2 of the top 7 or 8 track projects, the 36, or the Big Walnut Interchange and the Point are 2 of those projects for all of Central Ohio. And they're moving along. They're getting bumped up gradually. I think those things tend to move, I wouldn't say at the speed of a glacier, because they probably move slower than glaciers move, but they are moving along slowly. And then Hyperloop 1 is the Chicago to Pittsburgh Hyperloop tunnel train system, high-speed system that's, there's a road show, and it's starting in Columbus, and it's going to be in Columbus on, I think, let's see, it's about the material, August something. But if you want to, you can go see the I don't know what you call them, not really a bus, but the pod, I guess they call them pods. From August 3rd through August 6th, pod will be on display at various locations in Columbus, Ohio, Dublin, Marysville, and Lima. August 5th, that's actually today at the State House.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the state room. So you can go see one of these new pods that's going to travel at 600 miles an hour and make trips to Chicago like half an hour. So,
Okay.
so anyway,
Yeah.
that's it's going to be a co-site. So anyway, that's kind of neat. But that's all I got.
Star Trek had it, where they just molecular.
That's right.
Location.
They're instant transformation.
I do have one thing that, in your comments, had nothing to do with that, but I thought of it. The Board of Elections and the new vendor, we talked about, there were certain things that we were expecting of them. Maybe at a minimum, Mike, if you could just follow up to see, is a vendor on schedule to do the things that they're promising to do? Because we haven't heard anything, it's going to be,
Coming up.
I think we said August, and
Yeah, we did. That's
if they
right.
said something about October, we thought that was too late.
Yeah.
So just curious.
I can actually, I spoke with Carla last week, and they have actually submitted to the state and the federal all the updates. They did it in July, which was ahead of the
Good.
original schedule. There's still some concern that how quickly the state and the federal committees can rule on them and stuff like that, so.
But the things that were concerned.
Have been, they've been, the things that have been, worked into the program, and as you guys know, this year, it's important to get those certified this year because you can't certify anything in a presidential year next year. And so they, I think, it was supposed to be October 15th, but they had them submitted in, like mid-July, so.
Oh, great, good, good. Yeah, glad you brought that up. The only thing I have is there's an emergency management executive meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the office. So that's it, we have need for executive.
Correct. Resolution number 19-757, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, dismissal, discipline, compensation of a public employer, public official, and for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-757. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We are now recessed into executive session.
Resolution number 19-758, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 19-758. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We are adjourned.